Right, welcome back to another Beard Invades. This week we've got Adam from Little Shed Big Ideas. If I can get him on the screen. There you go.
Hello.
Welcome to an invasion, Adam.
Hi.
Thanks for coming along and allowing us to probe you and be nosy and look at what you do and how you do it and where you do it.
Yeah.
But you've seen these before, so you know what to expect.
Yes.
Excellent. So what we do first is we'll have a little look who's in the chat. For some reason, I mean, I was ill on Tuesday, so I didn't do my live. So I think people may think I'm still ill and I'm not doing the invasion. So there isn't many people in tonight. Hopefully they come along. So okay. So we've got Gerard the French Turner, Peter Corcoran. Am I pronouncing that right? Corcoran. Andy H is returning. Ian Leonard, Charlie Taylor, Annette. I can't do this very quick. Plus, I haven't got my glass on. Barry Chitty, Brian at Hartwood Turning. And that's it for now. Hopefully a few more come along in a minute.
Intimate.
Yeah. And I think this is what it is. Oh, Wood Turning by Barry's in. And Doug Miller. I think it's because I wasn't very well Tuesday and I wasn't on. Okay, so guys in the chat, if you don't know who Adam is, Little Shed Big Ideas, there's a link to his channel in the description. Go and check him out. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. That will help him tremendously. So, shall we crack on?
Go for it.
Okay, so YouTube. Right. First of all, what do you do outside of YouTube? What do you do for a living?
So I work for a high street bank. I'm not allowed to say the name, but they have big black horses.
Oh, okay.
That's all I can say, really. That's my day job. It's pretty normal, standard job. Nothing too exciting.
Oh, I'd imagine it's in an office space, like a, I mean.
No, I'm as long as I don't say the name above the door, I'm keeping corporate policy happy. But no, I'm a bank manager, so I'm in a branch.
Okay. So it's mental all day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I always say to people that working in a bank is so far from what you think working in a bank is. People don't really get it. It's very little to do with money. That's all I'll say. It's it's one of those weird jobs everyone thinks they know.
It's what am I doing? I bet coming home at the end of the day after being in the suit and and having to deal with it, I bet it's nice just to get your tools out and just chill out, isn't it, in your workshop?
Yeah, it's the escape, isn't it? I think that is probably what it is for most people. It is, I'm married, I've got 2 kids, I've got a 8-week-old and I've got a 14-month-old. So, there's a lock on the inside of the door of the workshop for a reason. It's my
just to keep them out
in the house.
Yeah. We got Claire in as well. Hi, Claire and Keith. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have a little look at your channel. So like I always say, when I used to record these before I started doing them live, it was a lot easier because I could cut all this out. So there's your channel. You are currently on 354 subscribers.
Thank you all.
It's a very neat channel, I must say.
It wasn't 2 months ago.
No,
I redone all the thumbnails because they were a bit all over the place, and just as everyone does, you get better at doing it, and you get to learn a little bit more, and you do a bit more. So I've just tidied it all up, really.
That's what I'm doing at the moment, and it's really. I mean, I've got nearly 400 videos, and it's just taken me so long.
Yeah.
How many have you got in total? Is this all of them? Is 5, 10?
Yes. Yep. That's it.
15,
There's not
20.
a lot on there.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not a huge amount.
I did see that you've had a couple of them that have gone really well. I mean, look at that. That's the Bosch review. Is that the stud finder?
Yes. Yeah.
57,000 views. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then the table saw.
I'd love to know the secret as to why that one has gone like that. The table saw, 20,000 nearly. And I think the mitre saw's got over 20 as well.
22,000. It's just a real shame. And I remember saying this to you last week when we did the live test, that can you imagine if all those people subscribed? I mean, there's 100 already.
It would be phenomenal, but it would be hypocritical because I don't follow every video that I watch. So, fair's fair.
Yeah, true. Okay, so let's move along. So why YouTube? What made you upload that very first video?
It's something I'd wanted to do kind of probably a year before I'd put that first video on. And it was a bit of a weird one because I wanted to do YouTube and I enjoyed the idea of woodworking, but at no point did my brain kind of think, I could do these together. I watch a ton. I probably watch more YouTube than I watch TV, to be fair. And I think, there's probably a lot of people that are going that way now. And the woodworking has been something that I've always wanted to do, but until I moved to this house, I never had the space. I lived in a flat, you can't do it there. Before that was rented accommodation. So I could never kind of set up workshops or anywhere. And then moved to the house I'm in now back in 2018, I think it was. And I said to my wife at the time, I said, I'm going to have a shed at the bottom of the garden and it's going to be fine. Did that. And then, I kind of then had the idea. I thought, well, if I'm going to have this kind of journey as such into doing this, I'll film it all as well. And, don't expect anyone to ever watch the tripe that I put out 99% of the time, I'm fully aware. But, I just thought it would be fun for myself really to kind of document what I was doing and how I was doing it. And then I did it for about, I think about a year or so. I put out, 10 videos or so over the case of a year. And just got some really nasty comments off the back of some of the videos.
Right. Okay.
Just saying things like, this review is rubbish. Your channel's really amateur, to which my brain was just like, well, yeah, that's the idea kind of thing, Yeah. And it just kind of, that coincided with a couple of personal issues and, having my first little one, and just time went, and I just didn't have time to do it. And then I kind of always kept an eye on it and bits and pieces. And it's funny because I think when I stopped doing it, I had about 80 subscribers, something like that. And I always replied to the comments that came through over time. And even the nasty ones, I was always, killing them with kindness. So I always be, thank you for your great feedback. That would be like, after you've got the 10th comment exactly the same on the same thing about, I think it's in the table saw video review, I did the music in the background's too loud. I now in hindsight aware that, but I didn't need 10 people to tell me it. So it was just like, very polite replies. And then, it just, I've just had another little one, and I'm very lucky with work that they give you 2 months as a guy off work when you have a kid.
All right.
Kind of thought to myself, do you know what? I've got 2 months at home. I can really kind of give it a go. And I've committed for the rest of this year to put a video out every week. Of just kind of not necessarily making things, but the journey that I go through. So sometimes I filmed a video, it's halfway through editing at the moment. I've done it in the last 2 hours, and I've bought 10 things off Amazon in the last couple of weeks. And it's just a case of, I was just going to talk about them and kind of do a bit more of a review than Amazon can necessarily give you. If anyone out there wants to buy these items, then, I am brutally honest. I mean, the table saw is utter crap that I've got. You know, I'll always be really honest with people. It's
that's it.
It's something that I'm desperate to improve on, but
if you're not honest with a review, then there's no point doing it.
Yeah.
No
and
point
it made me laugh with the Stud Finder review, and it's nothing really, and it's just a tool. And I was just making videos for the sake of obviously making videos, just to try and get some stuff out there and kind of just practice making videos more than anything.
Yeah.
And the feedback I get on it is things like, oh, you must be paid to promote this and things like that. And I kind of think to myself, I've got 300 subscribers. No one's paying me anything to talk about their products in the slightest. I just have a product and do it, and then just a bit of fun and a bit of silliness, really.
Yeah. And that's it. It's. I mean, I see these big channels that are they're promoting certain tools and certain things, and you can see that there's no interest in that tool at all. It's just there because they've paid them to advertise it. I mean, I would prefer to go and find a small channel that's done a review on an honest review where they've had to buy it out of their own pocket. So they're not being bribed or anything. I'm not saying everyone does, but and then you get the absolute honest truth, from the video. So I mean, I'd always prefer to do that, and I usually do. If I'm going to buy something, I'll go on YouTube and I'll see if there's a review for it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I try to work on a basis of I'm a beginner at this, so I'm not spending a huge amount of money on tools. And I bought a Bauer track saw the other day, and I thought to myself, I could do a little review of that. But you type Bauer track saw into YouTube, and you get 15,000 videos all telling you exactly the same thing. And I just kind of thought, what's the point with that? That is me literally putting a video out and in the nicest possible way, taking up my time, because it does, start to finish of a video can be 8 hours actually worth of filming it, editing it, getting all your facts, figures and that right. And I just kind of thought, like, I don't have time to do that. I go to work at, 7 o'clock in the morning, come home at 8:30 at night. I don't get to see kids much during the week. It's when I'm at weekends, I want to be with my family.
People, when you get these comments, I mean, I never remove comments at all unless they're really distasteful, racist comments or real nasty comments. I mean, I'll leave them up. But I wish that some of these people that have put those comments, that are sitting there all day, would try and plan, record, edit and upload a video. And once you've uploaded it, there's all the tags and all the algorithm you've got to work with and all that sort of thing. I wish they could actually see what goes into a 5-minute video.
Massively. And there was one comment I got about 2 months or so ago, and it's no different to any other comment. It's the usual kind of, oh, your channel's crap, all that kind of rubbish. And I just sent them a message saying, oh, send me a link to your channel. I'll have a quick look. Didn't get a reply. And then for whatever reason, I saw it then a week later, and I just replied another comment saying, still waiting for that link. And I almost sat there and set a reminder on my phone to remind me to message him every week, just going, still waiting. And I just kind of thought, what, if I do that, I'm as petty as them. And it's just not worth it. No,
but it still made that person think. I think it made them think, unless they're just ignorant and they just,
there is there is someone on Instagram, their name escapes me at the minute, but they share all of their bad comments, and then they'll put the person's username on there as well. And I do think I kind of like the idea of that, because that's fighting fire with fire.
Why not? Isn't it? If they're a troll, then if they're trolling you, then fair enough. Right, we've got a few extra coming in. We've got Wayne the Woodturners in. We got I did see Making a Better Life, Tommy's Workshop, Chris Spinning Wood Dodger. Who else did I say? I thought I saw Emmett from Dead Rise Woodcrafts. So yeah, and there's a load of people coming in, which I'm happy now. There's a few more people. So guys, if you want to ask Adam a question, you know how it goes. Put a couple of capital Qs. I'll do my hardest to see them. I'm constantly looking. This is every time you see me looking over there, I'm looking at the comments to see if there's questions. I am listening to you, but I'm still listening. So yeah, if you want to ask a question, chuck it in the chat. Irishman Woodworkers Diaries in as well. So inspirations. Is there anyone or anything that inspired you to do what you do on YouTube?
There's the woodworking side of it. I put down to three things that I look back and I can quickly go, yeah, it's that, and that. When I was really little, there was an old boy that lived at the end of our street who just used to make wooden toys. And I remember probably being somewhere around 8, 9, 10, something like that. Used to just go up there, go and see him, and I'd just chat to him in his workshop, and then he'd make something and just give it to me, you know, straight away there and then. He'd make me a toy in front of it and give it to me. So that always, I always look back, I think that's the first kind of thing. I had a great secondary school woodwork teacher called Roger Stowe, who I don't think probably realised the impact he had on me and other kids in the class, because he was just, it was like, he's probably not the right thing. He's probably woodworker first, teacher second, you know, and he would just make stuff. And I remember I did woodwork for GCSEs, and you have to propose a project, and I proposed the project, and he just looked at me and went, no, you're better than that. Come on, you can do it. And I ended up building this garden furniture set at the age of 16, and then, you know, it came out, I like to think, pretty well at the time for someone who's got limited resources and bits. And you know, he was good. He used to come into the school early in the morning, so I could go in at 7 and go and do 2 hours worth in the workshop there and stay late, and that had an impact. And then the other thing is always the most comical thing in the world. The TV show I have watched more than anything in life is the new Yankee Workshop, which is almost just like jealousy of, just not necessarily what he makes, just the workshop he's working in more than anything.
His tools,
like,
his tools.
Yeah, it's you know, and that they are the three things I would say that's made me kind of go, I want to do woodworking. And then just the channels that are out there, really. You know, you fall into that spiral of YouTube where you'll watch the one thing and then one thing and then one thing, you know, and I watch kind of what I would class as the big UK YouTubers, you know, Peter Millard and Keith Brown at Rag and Bone, and the Badger Workshop and bits and pieces like that. And then I also have completely different things. There's Tom Nage Electrical. He's an electrician in London, and he just films his jobs and puts it out there. But it's just his manner of how he does YouTube is great, because he's just he talks to the camera like he's talking to someone on site. And it's just he swears, and he'll just like say how bad other people's jobs are, but he genuinely, you can tell he cares about the work he does and what he does. And then there's tons out there. I've recently discovered the Bourbon Moth woodworking as well channel. He's an American guy, professional cabinet maker, but his channel is just it's kind of serious with the right amount of nuts in it for it to kind of be entertaining, which is good. But that I'd say is the main kind of, you know, the motivation to do this and just document the silly stuff, really, that I say. And
we did have a question. I think, is that someone you know? Oh, Mr. Lauer's in. Welcome, Mr. Lauer. Jack Woodruff. You know Jack Woodruff? He says thanks for the Instagram shout. Anyway, I can't. Oh, yeah, we go. Dead Rise. Oh, yeah, this is typical from Emmett. There you go. How do you have hair with 2 such young children?
I see it coming forward.
Yeah, coming forward. Or shave the sides.
It was here once, so, you know.
Okay, right. So remember, guys, if you don't know Little Shed Big Ideas, if you've never seen his Adam's channel, head over after this, of course, hit that subscribe button, help him out. And if you're new to this channel, come and hit my subscribe button too. Okay, should we have a little look at your shop? Is that all right?
Yeah, it won't take long. So
Okay,
it's a bit of a basic setup. So I'll just kind of spin my my laptop as I
that's fine.
do it. So, and I'll talk about kind of what you can see really. But
Sure.
it is. So this used to be the carport on the side of my house. This wall wasn't here. I put in with my stepdad about 2 months or so ago, because that's how new I've really been in here. And I've just kind of got odds and sods kind of just slammed around in the place at the minute. A lot of the tools I buy are either, if it's expensive stuff, it's secondhand, or if it's kind of the cheaper stuff, I'll buy it new. I mean, I just bought a little Charmwood router table off of, I think I got that Facebook the other day for about 30 quid, something like that. I picked it up from someone. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. But, and then I've kind of got the big bench.
Was that where you was telling me earlier that if you do buy a lathe, that's where it might go?
Yeah, they're just scary though, aren't they? You know, that's like, I mean, I look at them and I just think, you're just holding a blade that's going to fire in your face, aren't you? That's how I feel about them at the minute. But this little cabinet and that behind me, I done as 2 videos just because, again, I just film stuff as I do it. There's no real purpose to anything. The whole idea is this isn't necessarily, you know, like a maker's channel. It is a case of I'm just documenting what I'm doing. So again, it's just, you know, just building bits and pieces. I'll see if I can tilt this down a little bit. Down here has kind of got like a bit where I can chuck my legs under if I want a desk, and then eventually I'm going to kind of have drawers on this side and down here where I can put bits and pieces in, just so I've got a bit more storage essentially. And then so try and get this right, and then up this end I've just got my small miter saw, and then it's just kind of, you know, rubbish that you get in a normal kind of workshop until now. And then
storage.
Storage. That's the one. Yeah, the world's worst table saw. And obviously this originally was just 2 massive gates. It was open at the top, so kind of got that put in.
Okay.
And then that's kind of really it. I mean, the workbench that you're kind of sitting on now is, I just literally slapped a bit of 8x4 with 4 legs on the bottom of it, just so I had something. But I think this is going to be one of my next big projects, really. It's just going to be a case of actually making a more practical one, because I kind of needed a bench to be able to build everything behind me. And now I've kind of got everything up off of here. I can worry about this. I've just bought an MFT tabletop that I want to have a play around with as well. So that will be kind of built into it. And I just don't know what to do with the table. I kind of like the idea of having the table saw built into it, but it's crap, and I don't want to build something that's got that built into it. Well, I'd really like one of the Axminster Craft table saws, the iron topped ones, but spending best part of 600-700 quid on a table saw when I am an amateur, and I don't claim to be anything else, but is a lot of money to spend ultimately on something. It is,
but sorry about this. That threw me then. Right, yeah, it is a lot of money to spend, but if you buy good in the first place, you're going to save yourself money. You're not going to get disheartened or when you make something and the tool isn't up to standard, then it kind of puts you off making it in the first place.
Massively. And it's kind of like my 2 big learns, I suppose, out of everything so far is, and it sounds really stupid this, but it's like it's measurement and accuracy. Something that I think is a good 90-degree cut will turn out to be an 87, and it's just then when you line stuff up a bit. I mean, this whole unit behind me is all a little bit on the kink, but it's a learn. That's the thing. I've learned, how to do it wrong. So next time I know how to do it right, kind of thing. And that's kind of my logic and my thinking. But the more I think about that, I want to go down to an Axminster. The nearest Axminster to me is about 2 hours away, and I think it's dangerous. I want to go there, but I think if I do go there, I'll end up getting a delivery within the next 7 days, which is dangerous. So, we'll see what happens.
Excellent. We've got a few extras turn in. So Jiggy Shed, Whitebeard, which is my old man, Mark Stroughton, Baz from Real Simple Things has come along. Who else? Douglas Mungham. Yeah. So thanks, guys, for coming in. Remember, if you want to ask a question, we're not far from finishing. So get them in now. So camera equipment. So what do you use? Because I've noticed your videos are very crisp. They look very professional. You're going to say a mobile phone now, aren't you? There you go. There you go. You can't beat it, guys.
It's I love it or loathe it. I am a fully signed up member of the Apple Club. And it's one of the reasons I started doing YouTube again as well. I got I think it's the 12 Pro is the new one out. It films in 4K, you know, high definition. I think you can do 30, 60 or 120 frames per second. I'll have that with then just a very small mount with a very tiny little light on top of it, which I just have shining at me. That's it.
That's brilliant.
So, my first ever video, I used my DSLR, and I discovered that it's only got a built-in microphone, and you can't plug an external microphone into it. I don't use a mic either. I literally, the audio's picked up straight off my phone.
Yeah.
I've looked at getting is it a Rode Wireless, the little like lapel one.
Yeah.
But I listen back to my audio, and for what I'm doing now, I don't think it's that bad. It's
good. I mean, I've looked, and you know what? I don't think you need to waste the money on it. No, your audio and your video, it's great. It's very nice, professional.
I'm in a relatively small space. This is just bigger than a one-car garage, so it's not like I've got a huge amount of echo. So that makes life a lot easier.
I think once you start filling that up, though, then the sound and the light will change a bit.
Yeah.
So then you may want to look down, but then you'll see it from your own videos anyway. But okay. So editing software, do you edit on your phone or do you edit on a PC? iMovie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just use iMovie. I've got my MacBook. I just chuck it in there. It's when I've kind of carried on from how I originally started. Was I had no money to spend on any equipment as such, so I just went with what I've got. I've used all the free software that comes with Apple. I use my phone to film it, and to be fair, I don't think if you're an Apple user and you're just doing what I do on YouTube, I don't really think there's much call to need anything more than iMovie. I think Logic, I think it's called Logic, is the big bit of software that Apple has. It's a few £100, and I don't think my skill level would be good enough to make that any better than what I make iMovie. So, it works for me really more than anything.
Yeah. I forgot to ask you a minute ago, actually, before we go on to shoutouts, is the inspirations. Who do you want to inspire people? I mean, who do you want to inspire? I mean, who are you making these videos for? What kind of people?
Do you know, it's funny actually. I asked myself this a little while ago because, and at work when I talk to the guys, I always think if you're not doing anything for anyone, then there's no point. You've got to do it even if you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for someone. And I don't get me wrong. If I woke up tomorrow morning with 100,000 YouTube followers and I could quit the day job and do YouTube full time, I would love it, because it would just be that position to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. But obviously, living in the real world, if I could inspire someone to go, do you know what? In 2018, he knew absolutely nothing and didn't have anything, and then 2 years later, I like to think, for what is mine, a fairly decent workshop that's ever growing. In another 2 years, where it will be, another 3, 4, 5 years, where it will be. I genuinely would love for my full-time living to be someone who could make stuff and actually sell it, you know, whether it be furniture or anything like that. You know, I don't have a desire to kind of, you know, be a handyman or kind of do installs like, you know, a bit like Peter Millard's stuff that he does, where he builds bespoke furniture, that built-in cabinetry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That, if I can make furniture and sell that, that would be great. But yeah, I mean, it's at the minute 100% do it for me, because it's a bit of silliness and I enjoy doing it. And the thing I say to people is I enjoy the filming, although it can be frustrating at times, and the editing as much as I do the making of the stuff.
Yeah, same here.
It's just the learning that because it's two worlds apart skill set, but it's just nice to be able to kind of learn those two things and then, you know, bring them together.
Yeah. We've got a question from an Irish woodworker's diary. Do you have any trouble with downloading from iCloud? As when I go a few days, it takes me a while downloading to iMovie.
I use iCloud and everything of mine is stored to the cloud, but I am time-wise, I'm really rigid that anything I film on that day gets put into iMovie and generally edited and finished that night. Because my biggest worry is I've got so much going on that I'll film stuff and it will never get done. So I kind of, you know, when I kind of, you know, agree a day with my wife that I can focus on it, I'll think to myself, right, I've got 8 hours and I know probably 2 of that will be editing. So I've got 6 hours to do filming. So that's why
2 hours to set up.
Yeah, it's just I have a terrible memory, and I know that from my editing, because I'll say the same thing to camera 3 times every set of filming that I'll go, and then I'll realize, oh, I've already said that. But yeah, I try to get it straight off my phone and straight onto my computer ASAP, and I've got a really rigid way of storing it all on my computer. And then, to be brutally honest, as soon as it's on YouTube, I delete every file I've got for it. So if I lose YouTube, I've lost a lot. But I just don't have the time space to keep a back catalogue, really. It's not the smartest idea ever, because I do know there is a big thing of hacking people's YouTube at the minute, and they just go on there and they'll do select all, delete, and if it's gone, I've lost a lot.
I do the same though. Well, if it's gone, it's gone. You know what I mean? I do have a backup actually, where I started just sticking stuff on there. But okay, so shout outs. Your shout outs?
So there's 2 really, and they are opposite ends of the spectrum. So first one is a YouTube channel called Think Media. Now, Think Media, from what I know and can remember, their channel started 6 months after YouTube started. They were one of the original kind of, I say the original, 6 months is a lot of time, isn't it? One of the original people on there. And the name of the guy that runs it is escaped me, but his first ever video was him as a kid in his bedroom, just talking to a camera and putting it on live, and that was it. But since then, he has built a YouTube channel about helping people do YouTube. And I've learned so much from this channel about how to do things. And he'll go through, if you've got £10 or £10,000 of what tech to buy, he'll go through different tips and techniques. Like one of the biggest things I've learned, if you're using a phone to record, is don't use Apple's video. There's a separate app. There's loads of separate apps, but generally you get more options of how you can make it look better. And that's been really great. You know, things like there's teleprompter apps and bits and pieces like that. So all of my stuff, which if you've watched my channel, is blatantly obvious. Nothing of mine is scripted. I just ad-lib everything. I don't plan what I'm saying. I just sit in front of the camera and just say it. It drives my wife absolutely mad because I say, okay, so about 30 times every video. But you know, that's one of them. I think deserves a bit of praise, because actually some of the stuff he puts out there, but he does everything. He'll literally go setting up a YouTube channel from registering accounts right through to posting, tagging, algorithms, and all that stuff of a video. He'll go through how to get 1,000 subs in a month and everything you need to do to do it. And most of the advice he gives is, unless you're buying equipment, is all free. There's no cost to it. So it's you know, it's just tips and techniques that he's learned and he shares, really.
Cool.
Yeah, and then the other one is a Instagram channel that I kind of stumbled across, which is lumberjack_woodworking UK. This is a guy who I kind of probably started talking to about a month or so ago. He followed me on Instagram. I followed him, and it's just kind of the stuff he makes, and I just think it's really nice, neat stuff. We kind of picture right there. We bonded over the fact we've just both become dads, so it's, you know, we kind of a bit of a laugh about that, because some of our messages will be at like 1 o'clock in the morning to each other, because we're both walking around living rooms trying to, you know, get babies to sleep. But it's you know, it's just a nice little channel. It doesn't have a YouTube. I've told him he really should, because some of the stuff he does is really nice. It's just having that confidence to put that first video out. And I generally think as long as you've done one, and once that first video's out, then you fly. Yeah,
excellent. My shout out this week is going to be a channel that has got nothing to do with making whatsoever, but I find this channel hilarious. And if I'm feeling a bit crap, which is a lot of the time, I'll put these guys on. I'm up to date with all their videos now, so I'm a bit gutted, but they bring out videos every other day. And they're called The Bell Life. So it's two brothers. They call themselves rednecks. One's older than the other by 20 years. And they kind of put each other through tests. I mean, the one I was watching the other day, they had elastic bands. And they could see how many elastic bands they could put together before it gets too painful to even, you know, you got to watch it. It's called The Bell Life. Like I say, it's nothing to do with making, but it's just a bit of fun if you're feeling a bit crap. So links to all those, well, both of those that you mentioned and mine will be in the description for the guys that are watching this later, or, you know, head over, check them out, give them some support. You've survived. You feel all right?
Yeah, I won't lie. I am freezing cold. I've got no insulation in my workshop. It's whatever time it is. What, it's 20 to 10. I'm so cold. I'm sitting here shivering.
Yeah, we're done now anyway. I like to keep these to about half an hour if possible, but you know. Okay, so thanks to everybody that's stuck out and watched us chatting a load of rubbish usually. And remember, if you haven't checked out Little Shed Big Ideas, head over there, give him some love. Also, if you're new to the Invasions, come and give me some love too. We'd all appreciate that. Anyway, so all I gotta say is thanks, Adam, for allowing us into your workshop and into your brain a little bit.
Scary place.
And thanks to everybody that's in the chat as well. Right. Right. Bye-bye.